As Katrin silently sat next to Marcellus, she gazed at the billowy clouds which were similar to those in last night's storm. Even though the last moments with Marcellus were heart-wrenching, she could not bring herself to say goodbye, knowing she would never see him again. Cold wind sweeping across the waterway made her tremble. Perhaps it was her anxious energy as she reviewed every image on the wall of lives in her mind. After a few moments, she heard 3 scratchy partridge calls. Heinrich's signal the Romans were approaching the exchange site. To emotionally distance herself, she avoided looking at Marcellus when she told him it was time to go. They walked together up the hill in dead silence and continued on the footpath beside the riverway. After a few hundred feet, she heard approaching footsteps, but the thick hedges obscured her view. She halted and told Marcellus, "Get in front of me." She drew her dagger and pressed the tip against his back. A few minutes later, 3 Roman soldiers appeared on the pathway. When Katrin did not see her father and Tristan with them, her stomach clenched. The Wall of Lives had shown that her father and Tristan would be escorted by the tribune and 4 other Roman soldiers when they first met. In front of her was a brawny commander wearing a helmet that had what looked like a red rooster's crown on top of it. He displayed a warrior's demeanor with uplifted broad shoulders as he strode toward them. The bright sun escaping the cover of clouds was also unexpected, as the sky had been gray on the Wall of Lives. Heinrich's latest report that there were at least 15 soldiers in the entourage concerned her. She whispered to Marcellus, "Something is wrong. It was the tribune I saw in my vision." "That officer is a centurion by the name of Priscus Dius," Marcellus said. "He is a former gladiator who Decimus recruited to carry out his most dangerous assignments. This is not a good sign." Senses heightened, Katrin raised the dagger blade against Marcellus's throat when the centurion came within a few dozen feet of her. "Halt! Identify yourself!" The centurion, ignoring Katrin's command, took a few more steps. She sliced Marcellus's neck with the blade and shouted, "Halt, or he dies!" Marcellus gasped, "Gods above!" The centurion stopped and motioned for his men to do the same. When blood began dribbling down Marcellus's neck, Katrin pulled the blade away. "What are you doing?" Marcellus rasped. "I would like to leave with my head." Katrin's heart stung for the pain she had inflicted on him. She swept the remorse from her mind as she again demanded, "Identify yourself." "I am Centurion Priscus Dius, dispatched to deliver 2 prisoners. Who are you?" "I am Katrin, daughter of King Amron. Where are my father and his commander?" "They are not far from here," Priscus said, hardening his stare. "My orders are to escort Marcellus to our camp before I release them." Katrin remained adamant. "I will not release my prisoner until you release my father and his commander." The centurion kept eyeing the hedges beside him. Fear was rising in her chest that she had inadvertently altered the future as a result of making love to Marcellus. She continued threateningly, "If you do not return your prisoners to me first, I will cut off his head." Marcellus blubbered, "Do what she says! I'm bleeding!" Priscus hesitated and again glanced at the hedges. A swarm of ravens began circling over the treetops to his right. When Marcellus tilted his head toward the thick woods, Katrin also turned to check, but could not see anything. She then turned her eyes on the bushes. About 10 Roman soldiers brandishing their weapons rushed into the open. Among them was Tribune Decimus, barking orders, "Surround Marcellus and the girl!" Dismayed that she had not foreseen this, Katrin gripped Marcellus by the arm, pulled him closer, and pressed the blade against his neck. "Stand back, or I slash his throat!" "Do what she says!" Marcellus cried out. Katrin again demanded, "I want to see the king now!" The tribune held up his hand to halt the men. "Did you bring any other warriors with you?" "As you can see, I am alone," she said. "I have met my end of the bargain. Now meet yours."